At this point, you need to start installing your case screws, the ones that go all the way around and through the middle. You have to do that in the right order. So, the DeLorean manual talks about this. For some reason, I couldn't find in the DeLorean manual what the recommended torque was for these. I did check the French DeLorean Renault 369, 367 manual and the UN1 manual, and they both recommended 2.5 decanewtons, which is 25 newton, or decanewton meters, which is 25 newton meters, which converts to 18.5 foot-pounds, or 221 inch-pounds for the 8mm bolts, and then twice that for the 10mm bolts, which is 5 decanewton meters, or 50 newton meters, and 37 foot-pounds, 442 inch-pounds. So over here, these are all of my 8mm bolts. I'm going to turn this light off. These are all my 8mm bolts and my 10mm bolts. I wrote out the order, but the order is also indicated right here for which bolts in which order. So, as the case goes, the first two are actually these two large 10mm bolts, and I'm going to use this tool. This is just a little 3/8 impact wrench, just to get all the bolts in place, and then I'm going to go back and torque them all using my torque wrenches, which my 8mm or my 3/8 torque wrench is already set to 221 inch-pounds, or 18.5 foot-pounds. My 1/2 inch torque wrench is already set to 37 foot-pounds. I do like to use Loctite on these, especially since I'm using these bolts that are a little bit dirty, and especially on these bolts that are going into the case, because it helps to lubricate the connection and help prevent them from sticking, or wait a minute. Oh yeah, these ones are through bolted. So actually, I'm just going to go ahead and put in all the bolts so that they're here, and then I will torque them all in the correct order, so that way it doesn't come apart as I try to get these, and they'll all be ready to go. So go through and keep in mind these are all 10.9 grade bolts, so if you do choose to replace them, which is a good idea, just be sure that the replacements are also 10.9 and not 8.8 8.8 bolts. So they're just a little bit less strong. So this is probably pretty boring to watch, but this is how it goes. Got to put in, I think there's 16 bolts around the perimeter and 4 bolts in the middle. There's 16 8mm bolts and then 4 10mm bolts. So there's a couple of these bolts that are a little bit longer than the others, so I'm just going to find out where they go. I don't know if there are other sealants that you can use. This is the only one I've ever used, this Permatex. The sealant that, when I first got this transmission, that was on it was definitely not a Permatex. It was definitely not that. It was definitely some type of blue silicone, and it was everywhere. It had made quite the mess. I don't know that it had affected the transmission's operation, but just taking it apart, I mean, it was in every hole, and I don't know if it was... I don't think whatever it was quite as good as the Permatex anaerobic sealant. The last one, this is the longest M8 bolt that you need. It's this center bolt here. Alright, so... wrench to hold on to that one. This thing is very close to dying. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay, these last two bolts go, flip the transmission over. Let's see, I'm going to flip it. This way, let's spin it around. They go right here. So definitely want to make sure that these ones are going in straight, that they're not going in at any kind of angle or cross-threaded angle, because they're going into tap holes in the case, and the last thing you want to have to do is re-tap those, or yeah, anything like that. So that would be a nightmare. So this is ready to go. So okay, the first two that you're going to do are these two big ones, and they, unfortunately, because of the way the nut is recessed up in there, you do need a socket on them. 17. Whoops. It is a good idea to wear a shirt you don't care about, because obviously that kind of thing happens. Alright. So this is 37 foot-pounds. This is number one. That was it. Yep. 37. This one's number two. That's good. I got a little crooked there on the nut. There we go. 37 on that one. 37 foot-pounds. Alright, so once you're done torquing these two main bolts, those are 1 and 2, you're going to go on to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I wrote this backwards, so it starts here and it goes this direction. So it goes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So, I'm going to grab this. This, okay. So, we did 1, 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. And then 13, 14, you have to do the 1/2 inch. $13. 14. Alright, we're back to these. So, 15 is up here. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So, oh, I need the, I'm thinking 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And that's it. At this point, I recommend going through and just getting any of the extra sealant that's on the edge off. If you're like me, a lot of it probably ended up on your shirt. So keep that in mind. At this point, the case is essentially together, and you can see you turn the input shaft and the differential does turn. But otherwise, the next step, I'm going to let this cure for a little bit, but the next step is going to be to install the bell housing, and then 5th gear, and then the 5th gear cover, and then the flanges, and then after that, it'll be just about ready. So, see you then. Thanks.